Hey everyone, welcome back to NADLN Forum Podcast Daily. Ruby here, joined as always by Lior. Today we've got the August home sales data fresh off the press from the National Association of Realtors, and honestly, it's a bit of a mixed bag, maybe more hopeful than it looks at first glance.
Yes, absolutely. At first you see, okay, August sales dipped by just 0.2% from July, and you think, meh, nothing happening. But that year-over-year number up 1.8%, honestly, that's how you say quiet optimism. And the mortgage rates are easing a touch, now back down to that 6.5% range for a 30-year fixed. Not great, but certainly better than where we were just a few months ago.
You know, it's kind of funny. One of my friends actually asked me to help her compare mortgages last week. Just for fun, she said. I'm like, sure, this'll be fun. But even with rates inching down and more homes coming onto the market, it was still super complicated for her to figure out when to jump in. Buyers just aren't all rushing in, even if the numbers are technically friendlier than earlier this year.
Right. And you see Lawrence Yun, the NAR's chief economist, talking about stabilization. He expects more activity soon because of these rising inventories and the slight dip in rates. But, people, they're cautious. There's still a lot of anxiety. Is the Fed gonna cut rates again? Is this the bottom, or will things shift again next month? Everyone is playing wait and see.
And it's not just the big picture numbers. It's also that sense of what if. Even when things start looking up, folks remember how wild it's been trying to buy a home with low inventory. It's like, is this actual hope, or are we all just getting our hopes up?
Exactly. And like you said, for every buyer who's encouraged, there's another who's just as nervous about rates going right back up or the right house not showing up at all. So you get this kind of cautious optimism. The market wants to believe, but everybody's hedging their bets, All
right, let's zoom in a bit. Because like always, it's a patchwork quilt out there, not a single picture. The Midwest, total rock star last month, right?
Yeah. So the Midwest saw a 2.1% increase month over month in home sales. I mean, that's pretty significant for a single month, especially these days. And the yearly price growth there was 4.5%. So the region's kind of balancing rising prices while still staying pretty affordable. Median price just over $330,000. That's a rare combo.
Meanwhile, the West is still expensive, not going to lie. A median price over $624,000, which makes my wallet nervous just saying it. But they did see a little bump, up 1.4%. So not stagnating at least, right?
Exactly, Ruby. West is always a strange animal. Stable, a bit pricier, 0.6% annual price growth, a bit, but not outpacing affordability concerns. The Northeast, on the other hand, actually fell 4% in sales, even though their median price climbed over 6%. So high prices, fewer transactions, classic supply and demand squeeze. What's interesting, though, is that the South, usually a driver, missed out as well. Sales dropped by 1.1%, prices just barely up.
Yeah, the regional story almost needs a translator, doesn't it? I mean, like, the Midwest vibe reminds me a bit of what you talk about with Israeli markets sometimes, Lior, where culture and local attitudes change everything about who buys and when.
Definitely. Culture is huge. In Israel, for example, everyone's chasing stability, big families, long-term living, so that shapes investor choices and how they react to even small changes in rates. Here, in the Midwest, affordability plus that cultural mindset for community or stability makes people more willing to buy when rates dip, compared to, say, the speculation you see in some Western markets. Every region, it's got its own heartbeat.
And that's what keeps it interesting, because even if the national headlines look so-so, if you're looking to invest or buy in, say, Minneapolis, you're probably feeling pretty good about the numbers right now. Not so much if you're shopping in Boston or Miami.
So let's dig into inventory and price trends a bit, because that's really what's steering the ship as we head into fall. The nationwide housing inventory actually dipped by 1.3% from July, but year over year, inventory is up nearly 12%. Still, to be honest, it's a lean market. Only 4.6 months supply, so sellers still kind of control things.
Yeah, but with prices up for the 26th straight month, over 2 years of gains, that's wild. And homes are sitting just a little longer now, averaging 31 days on the market. Makes you wonder if sellers are maybe holding back, trying to time it just right with these rates and all the Fed drama in the news.
Exactly. And when you look at who's actually buying, it's interesting. First-time buyers held steady at 28%, same number, more or less, as last month. Cash buyers, also 28%. It seems like those who can act fast, maybe they don't need financing or they're just ready with pre-approval, are the ones who win right now. I think we talked about that, 2 episodes ago. The market's really shifting to favor those who are prepared to pounce. Seasonality too. You get less competition in the fall, better prices if you move quickly.
And speaking of sellers, if you want to stand out now, it's all about timing, pricing, and even staging. Actually, true story, I went to this open house last weekend, and it was magic. The seller had timed it perfectly, waited out some of the summer chaos, then staged everything like an Instagram influencer's dream. Place had offers in 2 days, despite all the doom and gloom.
Yeah. Presentation is everything when buyers have choices, or at least more choices than last year. If inventory stays tight and buyers are still cautious, sellers gotta make their homes pop. And for investors too, this fall might bring those subtle opportunities where if you've got your funding ready, you swoop in while everyone else is on the sidelines wondering what the Fed's gonna do next.
All right, that's our quick read on a market that's, well, not totally out of the woods, but not exactly in distress anymore. Feels like everyone's still holding their breath to see who moves first. Lior, thanks as always for schooling me on the regional quirks. And to everyone listening, we're back soon with more on where the market is heading for the end of the year.
Always happy to talk markets, Ruby. Thanks all for joining us. Stay tuned. Plenty more to come as we head into the home stretch of 2025. Catch you next time, Ruby.
See you, Lior. Thanks, everyone. Good luck out there, and make sure you're ready for your next move. Bye.